Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome again to our latest installment of Ask the Broker. This is our deep dive, high-level training where we get into things that a lot of people pay lots and lots of money to learn. Today, we're going to jump into part two of our funnels and how to do those. But before that, a little bit of housekeeping. Number one, shameless plug. If you're watching this online through one of our social platforms, please feel free, scan the QR code if you want to learn more about Miranda Executive Realty, what we can do for you. And then quick disclaimer that, I am the broker. I am the owner of Miranda Executive Realty. I'm a licensed real estate agent, also a property manager. What I am not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I am not a life advisor, a therapist, psychiatrist. I am none of those. I am simply here to give you my opinions on things and teach you to do things for what I believe are best practices. So moving on, sales funnels, part two, why you're not getting results yet. We're going to definitely talk about that. We're going to talk about, some of the things that you can look into to get better results or to start getting results on the funnels that you're building. But before we do that, let's take a quick recap. If you remember from the first training that we did, we kind of talked about the Claire method, right? Understanding your target market. So this is the individual, this is the avatar that you're going to be building your funnel campaign around, right? Who is this character that we're talking about? Who are they as a person, right? Are they single? Are they married? What profession are they in? Are they, are they from the United States, or have they immigrated from another country? There's so many different demographics that we can look at. Their income, maybe sports that they enjoy playing, leisure activities. You have to figure this out, right? You have to figure out the type of person that you want to talk to. Limitations. So whatever it is that you're trying to offer them, what's holding them back, right? Fears, challenges, experience, ambitions, right? It's that thing that they want to do, right? And then what's their reality? Not the reality of their situation necessarily, but what is their reality? Why are they not able to achieve this thing? And then engagement triggers, what are some things that you can do to cause them to take action? What can you say to them? What can you show them that's going to cause them to take action, right? From there, you're going to build out your $1 million message, right? So you can't just say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. You want to buy a house, right? You need more information than that. You need something a little bit more tangible than that. We're going to talk in depth a little bit more about that, building your $1 million message, give you some examples, and then the funnel mapping, right? So once you have your $1 million message, you do need a lead magnet so then they can download that lead magnet. They're going to go to download that. It's going to take them to a landing page. You're going to nurture them and hopefully convert them into whatever it is you want them to be. So to the Claire method, right? So let's look at an individual that we can build a Claire method around. Well, what about your sister and people like her? If you've been in real estate long enough, it's either happened to you or you've heard the stories from other agents that, so-and-so in my life, my best friend, my sister, my grandma, whatever, they know I'm a real estate agent, but they bought a house and it wasn't from me. Well, why is that? Maybe your message didn't resonate with them. Maybe you were just telling your sister, hey, I'm a real estate agent now, you should buy a house from me. And all the while, she's on social media scrolling through, and everybody probably has, multiple real estate agent friends, or at least in their social media circle, they're following real estate agents are following them, reaching out to them. And Claire has really begun resonating with another real estate agent that's in one of these social networks. Right. So Claire, let's name your sister Claire. Claire, your sister did not buy the house or buy the house from you. She bought it from this other real estate agent. Why? Well, this other real estate agent spoke to her. Right. So how can you resonate with your sister Claire? Right. So what is her profile? What is her character? Well, she's a longtime renter and she's been in a stable job for a lot of years. Pretty broad, pretty general, but that's okay, right? We don't necessarily need to narrow that down to, that she's a professional nurse and she works at Broward General and she's been there for 15 years, right? Maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not, but you have to decide on your own, okay, this character, how deep do I need to dive into this person? into this person's character, right? L, right? So her limitations. Well, she thinks that she can't afford to buy a house, right? And she also has a low credit score, right? A, her ambitions. What are Claire's ambitions? Well, Claire would be a home buyer if only she believed that she could buy a home, right? But in this case, she does not believe that. We have a typographical error here. Can could be a home buyer, but that's okay. Are able to buy, right? Hasn't, right? Are her reality, she is actually able to buy now, but she hasn't because of her limiting beliefs, right? So she thinks that, for whatever reason, well, I can't afford it. I can't afford the mortgage. I can't afford the down payment, right? And then she has a low credit score. So how do we hit those, right? Well, down payment, there's a lot of down payment assistance. There's a lot of first-time homebuyer programs. There's low down payment programs, things like that. We would want to build something around that. Build something around her credit score, right? Pretty easy. Get your credit score up, pay down some debts, open up a new line of credit, things like that. Sometimes you got to wait for things to fall off, but generally, it's just it's a belief. Credit is kind of, depending on your situation, credit can be fixed pretty easily. So these are just limiting beliefs, right? These aren't her actual reality. These are just things that she believes are her reality. And then E, the engagement triggers, right? So how are you going to engage Claire to get her to believe that you can take her from home renter to home buyer? Well, stories resonate with people a lot. It can also be your authority amplifier. It can be the thing that you share in your messaging that's going to help her to understand that, right? So now that you've got the profile of the person that you're trying to get there, now what are you going to do? Well, you're going to build your $1 million message, right? What is your $1 million message? How do you, when you're creating a funnel, now we're talking about funnels, but these are posts, these are ads, these are videos, these are photos or flyers, right? So how do you create this series of posts, ads, flyers, whatever, that are going to speak to Claire? Well, you have to speak to Claire, right? You have to speak to your sister. So your sister, her situation, right? I help who? Who do I help? Right? I help whatever, right? And what is this person's pain point? Right? What is what is this person's pain point? What is this thing that this person's going through that's causing this pain in their life, right? Achieve or get what is the result that they're trying to receive, and in how much time, right? And how are you going to get them there, right? So the $1 million message that we built around our sister Claire is, I help longtime renters to become homeowners in 6 months or less using my home buyer system. Right, that's your $1 million message. So this is who you're helping, with what pain, receive what, in a time frame, and how. Right. So I help longtime renters to become homeowners in 6 months or less using my unique home buyer system. Well, what is your unique home buyer system? Well, I'm glad you asked, right? Because we actually created an ad around this unique home buyer system. Right. So now that you know who your target market is, you're going to go on Facebook or whatever whatever media that you want to go on. In this case, we just have one that we created with Facebook with this ad right here. Right. So you see, there's our ad. Miranda Executive Realty sponsored means that we paid to advertise this ad. And then our $1 million message, I help longtime renters to become, right? Now, Facebook's not going to probably show your entire $1 million message, but that's okay, right? Your image, this is kind of a generic image. You could probably put something that looks a little bit better in there. It should be an accurate reflection of what they would actually receive. It should be an accurate reflection on what it's going to look like on the next page, right? A call to action, download the exact system for free, right? So you're telling them what to do, download the exact system for free. Again, another call to action, buy a home now. Another call to action, the button says download, right? And then there's a little bit of social proof showing that, we've got 1,100 likes, 10 comments, and 66 shares. So people can now just click on that button. Your sister Claire, now that you're doing these things, should start seeing your stuff on social media because you're targeting individuals just like her, right? When you go into your target audience for example, in Facebook, you're going to target your audience for people that are similar to Claire, right? What are things that Claire follows? Who are people that she follows? What are pages that she's on? So on and so forth. So when Claire comes in here and she's on her social media, she's on her phone, and she's scrolling through Saturday morning at 10 a.m. sipping her cup of coffee, and she comes across your ad and she clicks the download button. What's the next thing that's going to happen? It's going to take you to a landing page. So this is actually, if you look here, you got left column, right column. We just don't have enough, height to put all of this. So try to see this as, one combined image where, left is on top, right is on bottom. So at the top, she's going to see the home buyer's guide that she saw in the previous ad, right? So that she knows that, oh, I did go to the right place. There's a little bit on the inside of there, showing what's inside there. You should make this look better. Again, this was just built for the purposes of this training here, but foundation, framing, front door. These are the things that our downloadable guides that we have in this office, this is what they look like, right? So you want to show them what's on the inside. So again, you're gonna affirm that they're in the right place. Why? Because your $1 million message told them that they could become a home buyer in 6 months or less, right? What's inside here? Inside here are systems and checklists to become a home buyer, right? And then you're going to put some copy in there that's just going to kind of, continue to talk about their pain points, talk about helping them to overcome their pain points, talk about, what that looks like, right? Imagine coming home to your home, right? Whatever you want to put there, right? Some bold print or some bold letters look good, kind of in between there, create some headers, make it look nice. Chat GPT could probably do something amazing for you. Just kind of type everything out, blurt it out, copy paste Chat GPT, make this copy look better and more professionally written, or make this copy speak to Claire, right? So make this copy speak to this type of avatar, right? So, and just use Chat GPT however you deem it appropriate from there. So they're going to click download the resource now, right? Then it's going to take them to this next thing, buy a home now, because you can't email something to somebody. You can't send something to somebody if you don't know who they are, right? So full name, email, phone number, get full access now. Underneath is going to be some more information, right? What's inside this? You're also going to have an authority amplifier, because you want these people not to just come in and download your free content. What you want them to do is you want to sell your own credibility. Who am I? What was my journey, right? Why did I create this guide? Who am I looking to help? Why am I specifically skilled to help you in this area? What have I done to build, to put this in this area? So those are kind of the basic guidelines on, okay, when you build your ad, that's what your ad should look like generally, right? And then once after you've built that ad and they click download or, get the info here or whatever they click, then it's going to take them to a landing page, right? The landing page must match the ad, right? Now let's say you go through all of the effort and you do this and you throw $100 at it, right? Whatever. Or maybe you throw $2 a day at it, $5 a day, right? But then you look at this and you go, but I'm not getting any results. Why am I not getting any results? Well, there's a lot of reasons why maybe you're not getting results. The number one reason you're probably not getting results is because you haven't even built the ad first. So you have to build the ad first. right? And then once you've built the ad, make sure you have a landing page. And these are all things that you can do in our CRM right now, right? But once you've built the ad and you're not getting results, well, maybe you're not resonating with your audience, right? So you can't just walk around telling people I'm a real estate agent. I mean, you can totally do that. You should walk around and tell people that you're a real estate agent. But would you expect a result necessarily because you walk around telling everybody that you're a real estate agent? Great, you're a real estate agent. So are, you know, my other closest 10 best friends. They're also real estate agents, right? They're all part-time, they're all this, they're all that, right? But how does telling people or informing people that you're a real estate agent actually get you business when in the state of Florida there are 220,000 licensed real estate agents, and most of them are probably down here in Southeast Florida. You know, there's a lot of major areas in Florida, but I would say probably most real estate agents in the state of Florida, that the Tri-County, Southeast Florida area probably has one of the most dense populations of real estate agents, right? So when you're speaking about yourself being an agent, you need to make sure that your message is resonating. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Buy a house from me now. That sounds corny, phony, and desperate, right? Well, what do you do? Hey, I help people buy houses. Oh, wow, that's great. But how do you help people buy houses? How is that any different than literally every other real estate agent out there? Of course, real estate agents help people buy houses. But what if you said, I help long-time renters to become first-time home buyers? Now you're talking to somebody, right? You're not just talking to, you know, the entire world of home buyers. You are talking to people that have been renting for a long time, people that are thinking thoughts like, I'm making my landlord rich. People that are thinking thoughts like, I should be paying my own mortgage and building my own equity. People that are thinking like, I can't really stand my landlord because he won't allow me to have a giraffe. I have a big enough backyard, and my dream has always been to own a giraffe, and my landlord will not let me buy a giraffe. I should buy a house, right? These are the people that you're talking to, right? So you've got to be specific to make sure that you're resonating with the individuals specifically, right? The other problem, you're not visible. Sure, they saw your ad because you threw a crap ton of money at your ad and everybody and their mother saw your ad. But then when they looked at the person who created the ad, you don't really even have any posts, or you don't have any, you know, videos or actual photos that you've taken and posted. So, you know, just building a funnel in and of itself is not really going to be enough, right? You still need to be posting consistently. People need to see that you're out there active in the community doing what? Selling homes to longtime renters, or finding longtime renters and selling them their first home, right? Telling the story of the person who, you know, lived in an apartment complex for 6 years and always dreamt of owning a giraffe, and you helped them buy a house in Davie, and now they have, you know, 6 acres and they have 2 giraffes, right? Like how you took this person from where they are to where they want to be, right? Now this person is living their best life because they own giraffes. Consistency, right? So make sure that you're consistent, because, you know, right there's an algorithm. And the algorithm is going to look and give more space or time, or make sure that your posts are popping up in more places when it knows that you're going to be consistent about posting. If you post twice a year, as opposed to the person that posts twice a day, number one, those 2 times that you post a year, even if people do see them, they're probably going to go past them. But number 2, you know, the person that's posting twice a day, that algorithm is going to make sure that those 2 posts in one day will probably be seen more than your 2 posts that you've done in a year, right? So don't think of yourself as annoying. Think of yourself as visible. even when you do an annoying post, I guarantee you it's going to resonate with somebody. Somebody's going to like it. And then also, when you make what you believe is going to be your best post and you say, wow, I knocked that one out of the park, there's going to be people that are going to find that annoying, right? And that's okay, because who really cares, right? Like at the end of the day, person's going to say, oh, annoying, scroll by, and then 10 seconds later, they're going to forget you, right? Because why? Because on social media, people have the memory of a goldfish, which takes us to the next point, right? Content needs to be likable and relatable, right? So if you found that your post that you posted is annoying, make sure that it's not annoying, right? So, make sure that, it's something that people can relate to. Quick stories. Stories are huge. You don't know how to tell a story? Tell ChatGPT to write you a story about this, right? Type in your experience. I had a first-time home buyer that lived in a small community in, I don't know, Coconut Creek, and the landlord wouldn't allow them to have a giraffe in the backyard because it was an apartment community and they thought it might bite somebody. So when they met me, I went on a long hunt to, find them a home in their price range that they could buy a giraffe, and here they are, they own a giraffe now, right? So, that's a unique story. It's likable. It's definitely going to catch somebody's attention, right? Because I don't know if anybody actually owns a giraffe. What about your thumbnails, right? Your thumbnails matter. Sometimes I've noticed that sometimes in the videos that we post of me, when it has me opening up to a stupid face, like when you're talking, if you were to take a picture of yourself speaking at just the right time, you're going to be making a stupid face, like, right? And if you post that thumbnail, that might get a little bit more attention, right? Because people are going to look, it's going to be unique. If it just, play around with these things, right? Make sure that, you do have some expression in your face. Don't be dead, right? Short bursts of words, right? Lots of color. Don't make it. You don't want stuff kind of like blending and people don't know where one thing begins and one thing ends, right? And then you need a high quality photo. And you'll see if you go back to our content all the way back to the beginning, you'll see that we're even getting better as we do things. Some of the stuff that we created in the very beginning was definitely very low quality, right? I will say don't get stuck on this. It's still better to do something than nothing. So it's going to be better to put something out there that's low quality than to just do nothing at all. The problem is, people wait, and they wait until they've achieved perfection, and that's just not always going to happen. You're not always going to be able to achieve perfection. Action is always going to beat perfection, because action's just going to do and do and do and do and do, and you're just going to keep doing. Perfection is going to iterate and iterate and iterate and iterate and iterate, right? Do, then iterate, then do, then iterate, then do, then iterate, right? Every time you do something, just make it a little bit better, but don't let perfection stop you from actually taking that action, right? If you can't get a high quality picture, just put something up. It doesn't matter. Still better to do something than nothing, because the algorithms are not going to pick up that, hey, you're posting consistently, right? Videos and shorts. So you could make long videos, such as these videos that we do here, right? You could create, 45 minutes to 1 hour training, and then you can upload it into CapCut or Captions. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of AI now that will now pull out your best content, and then just post your best content. You've seen us do that. You've seen us, you've seen us do that, where I don't necessarily go out and create a bunch of videos, one-off type of videos. We'll just post these videos, shorts, right? So now we have videos there. Every once in a while, you might see a video that I created otherwise, but probably not very much, because I'm kind of lazy, right? I will do this. We'll put this together. We'll create a nice, high-quality training, and then we'll chop it up. So let's say, for example, the system that you created involves videos. So you've got your guide, but inside that guide, you decided, you know what? I'm going to record a video for each section of this guy, and I'm going to post them on YouTube, and I'm going to create, links where they can go to these specific videos. Well, now let's say those videos are 10 minutes apiece, and you've got, I don't know, 15 of them. Well, in 15 10-minute videos, that's 150 minutes, you could probably pull out, let's say, one 10-minute video, you could pull out 2 to 4 really good clips, short videos that you can post. And then those can become, well, number 4, your lead magnet, right? Those can become the things that you're posting, because your lead magnet, your thumbnail, the thing that you are using to attract these people has to be engaging, right? So take a 10-minute, you're just repurposing content that you've already created, right? So, so take that next slide, please. Take that next, so if you've created these things, take that content, your 10-minute video, and say, wow, you know what? In that minute and a half or 2 minutes that I was speaking, that sounded really good. CapCut's going to pull it out, and you're going to say, that one sounds really good. I'm going to use this as a lead magnet because this is really good information, and it's not something that's readily known and available to other people. This is super helpful. Or I just sounded really good. I had a good flow. I had a good rhythm. I think people would stop and they would listen to what I have to say, right? I think my first 10 seconds was engaging and compelling. And I think that if they hear that first 10 seconds, they're going to continue to listen on for the next, minute and a half, right? Whatever it is. But, anything can be a lead magnet, right? Anything can be a lead magnet. The training, these videos, whatever it is, it's going to pull. What you're doing is you're trying to offer something or give them something that's going to attract them to you, right? A lead magnet, right? So the next thing, this is where a lot of people really get stuck, is you're not clear on what to do next, right? So, for example, they click your ad, they click your Facebook ad, and it takes them to a landing page, but they don't match, and there's no call to action. There's nothing there telling them what to do, right? There's nothing. They're like, okay, I went to this landing page, but how do I actually get this content? I don't see it on here, right? Well, now you have to fill out your information because the value, right? So nothing is free. We're not giving them free information. We're selling them information, but not for money, for contact info, right? So make sure that you have, when they go to the ad, download now, click, here we are on the landing page, here's what you're going to receive, here's everything in there, here's what we can help you do, right? Click here to download now, right? Click. Well, okay, you want to download this, give me your name, email, phone number. Boom. They just paid for it. And then submit, right? Once you receive their information, they're going to receive the download for free, but really you sold it to them for their contact information, because that is the currency that we're looking for when we're looking for leads. The download or the contact information is that currency, right? So make sure that you have a clear call to action, right? And less is more. Download now, right? Don't put download this ebook now and start on your new life's journey, right? That's a stupid huge button and that doesn't make any sense. Just download now. Download this. Book an appointment. See if you qualify. Get your home valuation. Call your mom. Whatever it is, give them a call to action. Make sure that they know what they're doing, right? The other thing, you're making adjustments on your ads, but it's not based on anything, right? You're just like, oh, well, maybe that picture doesn't look good. right? So you're not looking at the data behind your ad, or maybe you're not looking at the data behind the post that you just boosted. You're just like, oh, I like this post, I like this info, let me boost it. Well, in reality, nobody else liked it, nobody engaged with it, nobody interacted with it, nobody did anything. So why would you think that a post that you like but literally nobody else liked is going to go viral because you put 25 bucks behind it? It's all scientific. Use the data. Use the data. So how do you use the data, right? What do you do when you know the data? You're split testing, right? A/B testing, same thing. And what are the areas that you can modify? I would start at the top and work my way down. Modify your header until you get a reasonable response rate, right? You see there A/B. So in the header, we have 2 ads running. The message, lead form, call to action, email, and SMS text message are all exactly the same. They're literally all exactly the same. The only thing we're changing in these 2 is the header. And we're going to continue to change the header until we get a reasonable response rate on that header, right? And we're only going to change the header. Okay, now we get a 75 response rate, 75%. Okay, so then we'll go to the next thing, the message. Well, we're only getting 25% right now based on, this. So let's put 2 messages out there. Which one runs better, right? Every time you find out which one gets better results, and you kill the one that gets worse results, and you keep the one that gets a better result. Lead form, right? So as you go, you should continue to get better results, right? You should continue to get, higher clicks, more engagement, more downloads, more, whatever. And you're just going to continue to iterate these things. And maybe then when you get down to SMS and you feel like I've perfected it, split test back to your header. Can you make that better? You probably can. Until all of these are 100%, you could probably make it better. But these are the areas where you can split. And there's even more, right? Even your image. Split test the image. First-time home buyer, put a young couple in there. And then, on the next one, I don't know, put an image of somebody burning money, right? Put it for, if you're renting, you're burning money. Whatever you want to do, right? But, split test, your image. You can split test literally anything. Your button, download now. You could go back to the other call to actions, and it could say get my free ebook, right? Like whatever you want to do, just you need to run 2 ads side by side, change one piece of data in that ad, and see which one does better, right? It's scientific. The next thing, you're getting a lot of profanity responses. You're getting a lot of unsubscribe responses. You're getting a lot of stop responses. Well, why is that? That's because you think you're nurturing that lead, but you're actually spamming them. Number one, if these people downloaded your information and they gave you their contact information in exchange for it, then on the surface, they believe that you are offering them value. But if you take the information that they gave you and you overuse it, if you overplay your hand, pretty soon that value is going to turn into annoying. So as you're nurturing, make sure that you are continuing to give value. And if you can't give value, don't send something. Now, you should also already have that nurture page set up because they came across your ad, they clicked the link, they went to the download page, they gave you their information, they downloaded. That's great, right? But it doesn't stop there, because why? Because you don't want them to take your ebook, become a first-time home buyer, and go buy from John Smith Real Estate Agent. You want them to take your ebook, look at it and say, wow, this is really well laid out. I need to call Joe Miranda, real estate agent, and have him, and he needs to be the one to sell me a house because clearly he knows what he's doing. Not only do I see it in this ebook, I see it all over his social media. Now he's sending me emails that are super high value. He's showing me how to take what he has in this ebook and apply it in real life, right? In the foundation, they talk about a mortgage. He's actually putting me in touch with mortgage lenders, right? In foundation, they talk about credit. He's helping me, get in touch with credit repair people, right? Like whatever those things are that you're going to do, you need to continue to give value. Value will always sell, right? What else is confusing? Well, you're not consistent with your branding. If you're not consistent with your branding, what if the logo is always a different color, right? What if the logo is always placed differently? What if the logo is, I don't know, whatever, right? So these are some iterations on our logo, and you probably recognize them all. The M and the X is the basic logo. The gold ring is just an addition. That can be there or that can not, right? That was added later. Having our name next to it is optional. It doesn't need to be next to it, right? But anybody that is aware of our brand knows if they see the M and the X, they're going to know what that means. It doesn't need the ring. It doesn't need our name. For people that are not aware of our brand, obviously they're going to need the name, right? And the name tells you what we do. We're realty. We're a real estate company, right? But these other three, well, even if Louis Vuitton wasn't on there, you would know who they are. Why? Because they're consistent with their branding. So make sure that your branding is consistent across all platforms, right? Everywhere you go, your business card, you want to put a magnet on the side of your car, you want to create some swag, whatever it is, make sure that you're delivering consistency on your brand. Very, very important, right? What else? Where can you fail? Why are you not getting results? Well, are you actually investing in your campaign? Advertising does cost money. Advertising costs money. So you will need to put a few dollars behind your campaign. As you're split testing, you're going to put a few dollars behind each campaign. You're going to figure out which one works right. And when you get it right, and you throw more money at the one that's right, you're going to have more leads than you can deal with, right? So then you'll adjust your budget and you can adjust it down. Do you stop split testing? No, never, right? So boost with purpose. What does that mean? Okay, boosting. That's the easiest thing to do. Boost a post. Do you just boost a post again because you liked it? No. You boost the post that already went viral. If you have a post that you created and maybe you don't know why, but for some reason it outperformed any post that you've ever posted in the history of your social media posting, boost it because it went viral. If normally you get, 2 to 3 hearts on your Instagram posts and nobody ever comments on there, and then you post something and you get 20 or 30 hearts on your Instagram post and you've got 9 comments, boost it because it resonated. People liked it. There was something about it that people liked. So if you put some money behind that post, you're going to get more engagement, right? That is going to get naturally, well, not naturally because you're paying now, but it already got organically in front of people. So now pay to get it put in front of more people. Don't boost and put money behind something just because you think it's good if nobody's engaged with it, right? Check your metrics, right? Make sure, that what you're doing is calculated, right? Your hashtags are really important. Make sure you get those right. Make sure you get your hashtags right. And then when people engage, make sure you're responding. You don't want somebody that says, wow, great post. I love this. This is amazing. This is amazing information. And then you just ghost them because you don't know who that person is and they might take it personal. Maybe they've been following you for 9 months and this is the first time that they said something. right? You reward good behavior. When somebody does something that you're happy with, make sure that you know that, or they know that you're happy, right? What else? So I'm guilty of the next one. You're not retargeting, you're recycling. Why am I guilty of this? In a way, because the way that I understand real estate and real estate sales, it's really broken down into just a few key activities. Now, these are big, 30,000 foot view activities, but it's still the same activities, right? Lead generate, lead follow, go on appointments, write contracts, close the contracts. That's it, right? So that information, in a sense, for me, is recycling that information. Now, what do? Right? I do reframe it and I rephrase it. And we teach you different ways. For example, what is funnel building? Lead generation. It's lead follow-up, right? It's at the very beginning of those ideas that I believe are our actual jobs in real estate. Building a funnel is lead generation, lead follow-up. Because you're going to generate that lead, you're going to follow up with them to do what? To get the appointment. Because if you don't set an appointment with the person, then why the hell are you spending money on it? Right? If you get the appointment and you never get a contract, you're never going to make any money. You're going to spend money on gas. You're going to spend time driving around. But if you never write a contract, you have no possibility for ever getting money. Right? And if all of your contracts keep falling apart, well, you're still not going to make any money. Right? So that's why this is our job. I talk about lead generation, lead follow-up all the time because that's where all of this starts. But I reframe what I'm talking about. We'll talk about cold calling. We've talked about geo-farming, right? We've talked about all of these things, right? So make sure that you're not necessarily, recycling the information, right? And make sure that, for example, let's say you really learn what is triggering people. Well, play on that, right? Whether it triggers them in an angry way or a happy way, right? Now, you don't want to continue to trigger people to get angry, right? But you do want to know what makes people tick, right? So as you're looking at this, right, you need to have your statistics and your numbers. As you're kind of going through all of this, you need to know, what are these numbers? What is my engagement, right? Who's looking at this? Who are my, next slide, who are my biggest fans? You need to know who your biggest fans are, right? Who is constantly watching your stuff? Who is constantly liking your stuff, right? Is there somebody there, right? Because can you slide into their DMs? Probably, right? You could probably slide into their DMs. Can you make that person your newest avatar if they're not already? Right? Can you look at this person and say, ooh, what do they do? Where do they live? Right? What is, what's their, are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? Right? What can I do to engage this person? Because I'm getting a lot of information from this, or a lot of engagement from this kind of person. How can I engage more people like this person? Because clearly I'm resonating with them. Right? What do you need to do next? You need to create a funnel. Whether it's an ad or it's just a post that you're putting, you need to create a funnel, right? You need to create your videos, right? You have the content already. You don't have to create the buyer's guide. You don't have to create the seller's guide. You don't have to create the checklists. Literally, if you go into Agent Resources and you look at the downloads that we have in Agent Resources, any of those can be a lead magnet. And if you make a video around that content, or if you create a post around that content, if you go into our Ask the Broker trainings, you'll probably find checklists that are suitable for buyers and sellers to download. Anything, right? You know, some of this is going to be geared towards agents, but you know, the home inspection checklist, right? There's videos in here that you can share if you want, right? Like, you know, what is an appraisal? We've done them on appraisals. You don't have to recreate the wheel, right? Rental investment calculator, printable rental investment calculator. Well, if your Claire wants to invest in real estate, is that a lead magnet that may be helpful? Hey, click here. You know, could you create a landing page where you've copied that rental investment calculator? Absolutely, you could. Could we help you with it? Maybe, but it depends on how much work you're going to be willing to put into it, right? Could you give them the printable rental investment calculator for sure, where they can just write their own numbers in, and it tells you, right? Type in the price or write the price. You know, subtract this, plus this, plus this, plus this. Can you put your own branding on it? Absolutely, you can. Right? So there's plenty of stuff that you can use. There's plenty of stuff that you can use, you know, and if you want to make it look better, you can make it look better, right? Like you want to put your own, you know, you definitely want to put your own branding and your own stuff on there, but this is stuff that they can go in and they can fill this out on their own, right? This is a lead magnet. Want to buy a house? Want to, you know, I can help you, you know, invest in real estate and, you know, generate passive income so you can, you know, retire in the next 5 years, you know, by doing what, right? By doing whatever, right? But it's a matter of doing these things. You have the lead magnets. They're all over inside Agent Resources. Just who's your avatar, and then go find stuff in there. Do you have to pay for ads? No. Should you? Probably. But you can just post. And when a post resonates, when you go viral, then you can put money behind that and to boost that, and you're probably going to get more engagement, right? And if you're on Instagram, the people that are engaging, you can slide into their DMs, right? Create more videos, just little short videos, or create a long video and pull the shorts out. Better thumbnails. Post regularly. Look at your metrics. What's, you know, what is getting more engagement? What's resonating with people? What's not? The stuff that's working, do more of it, right? And then the most important thing when you're lead generating is make sure what? Make sure you're following up with these people. If somebody takes the time to download your ebook and they've given you their email and their phone number, what do you think you should do? You should reach out to them. Should you be prepared when you reach out to them? Yes. Hey, I saw you downloaded my ebook. Did you have any questions? You know, it looks like, you know, do you own a home right now? No. Okay, so you really are a first-time home buyer. Cool. By when are you looking to purchase a house? Well, you said you could help me in 6 months. Sure, I absolutely can. Right? Would you be paying cash or finance? Like, and then just start talking to them, right? Like, whatever you need to say to them. But you've got to, you know, it starts with doing something. That's a funnel. That's a funnel, right? This here is a funnel, and I can tell you it works. But you have to take a scientific approach. You can't take an emotional approach. It has to be scientific. You need to take that scientific. So you're not going to have any data if you don't do something. All right. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Any thoughts? Any opinions? All right, well, that's that then. All right, well, that's the end of our training here. If you look, don't stay stuck. If you really want to build a funnel, come into the lobby room. Come talk to us. We'll help you with the funnel. If you want to create your first Facebook ad, come into the lobby room. We'll help you create your first Facebook ad. We'll give you some direction on how to do it, right? If you have a post that received a lot of engagement, you're not sure what to do next, come into the lobby room. Let us help you, right? If you don't want to come to the lobby room, then come to our roundtable mastermind session. Right? If you think that maybe another agent has the answers that you need, that maybe you know, there's nobody in the lobby room that has it, but there's other agents that might have the answer, you can come to the Roundtable Mastermind session. Right? These Ask the Brokers are the second and fourth Tuesday of every month, and the roundtables are the first and third. So, you know, our philosophy is don't stay stuck, but it's also, you know, a closed mouth can't get fed. If you don't speak up, if you don't say something, if you don't open your mouth, then we don't know what you need. You have to tell us what you need. So let us know what you need. Let us help you. If you know somebody that MX Realty would be good for, please feel free. Share this video with them. Share this QR code. Put them in touch with us. We would appreciate that. Our next Ask the Broker is going to be July 22nd. Topic to be determined. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for coming. Appreciate your attendance. And, well, hopefully we'll see you around soon. Hopefully this is helpful. Take care.